All mimsy were the borogroves, and the mome raths outgrabe. Beware the jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jubjub bird, and shun the frumious bandersnatch.
Dementia Poetry Project was started about 3 years ago, and we were working with a gentleman named John Killick, who is a renowned dementia poet and has been working in the area for a long time.
It's basically a communication project with people with dementia in care homes and in hospital wards and in day centres. We use poetry as the medium of communication because many people with dementia talk in quite a metaphorical and vivid way.
We got 4 local poets and they worked with John and learnt about how to deliver poetry sessions and group poetry writing sessions within a care setting.
In really simple terms, it's about going into care settings and engaging with people with dementia by talking to them, being with them, building up relationships, and as part of that, writing down what they say and then shaping that into a poem and returning it to them.
I think really that the main focus of what I do is to try to catch people's voices as accurately as possible. The little bronze one, a florin and a crown. I've got 7 shillings. Goodbye, everybody. It's not worth much. It's only 10 years old. He's given me his little coin for my big one. A stick of licorice for a penny. Did it have a flat end and then a round piece at the other end?
One of the main benefits that I've noticed from this project is that people feel socially included in things and they actually look forward to something.
It changes people's view of people with dementia because actually when you talk to people about doing this sort of work, they say, oh well, can they talk to you? Do they remember you when you go back? You know, can you manage to follow what they say? You know,
I'm astounded when Jean comes back in that they actually remember everything, almost everything they've said to her, and they say, I've said that.
I like to sew and I learnt to knit quite good. I made jumpers for my boys. I did plain and pearl and moss stitch. I didn't do cabling. I did plain knitting. The boys went to school and the teacher asked, where did the jumpers come from? I felt so proud. I knitted one for my husband, but he was too big. I never did it again. But he wore it till it fell to pieces. It gives great pleasure. It's often a process of considerable enjoyment and humour. I see friendships actually developing among the people involved in the group work. What we make is often something that gives a great deal of pleasure when it's read again. I notice that people will remember the poem and remember the occasion of making it. It's called On Sense, this poem, On Sense by Olive. 8 bits make a byte. 1024 bytes make a kilobyte. 1024 kilobytes make a megabyte. 1024 megabytes make a gigabyte. Makes no sense at all.
We've managed to tap into people's creativity, people who didn't think that they could write poems. It's a very inclusive experience. And what we do with poems after they've been written is that each year we create an anthology.
We've produced 3 books of poems, 1 in each year, and hopefully there'll be 1 for the last year as well, because the poems coming from the project at the beginning of this year are just as good as the ones we started out with.
I've understood from this a great deal more about how people's individuality survives dementia. I think the sort of stereotypical picture of dementia is quite often more frightening than the reality of talking to people who are living with it. It may mean they can't look after themselves in the day-to-day world. It doesn't mean that they can't interact with other people, that they can't recognise the significance of what someone's feeling. Often their sort of capacity to empathise seems to be heightened just as their sort of rational grasp lessons.
There's so much that's come out of this project. I think it's so much that's positive that's come out of this project.
When we started out, we were quite hopeful about the project, but we hadn't realised how successful it'd be and how much it would shape a lot of the work we do outside of the In the Pink project, which is what it became known as.
I think this is hugely positive, and I wish it was much more widely rolled out. I think so many more people would benefit from this kind of experience.